Bell in Atlanta for a few years now. I usually work the night shifts because it's slower paced due to the lack of customers around this time. However, the downfall is that you're more than likely to serve a creep, especially around this side of town. It's Taco Bell's policy that anyone is welcome to come sit inside, as long as they purchase something on our menu. I loathe the policy, as it attracts a lot of crackheads and hobos who just buy a small soda or water. Another plausible excuse to loiter as long as they want it, which literally made the workplace feel as if I was working in a homeless shelter. It wouldn't be an issue if they only sat for an hour or so. However, most of these customers tend to overstay, leaving myself and fellow coworkers to work overtime and clean up after them. The month of December had just begun. It was a snowy day when one of our creepy and erratic regulars came in and stood at the front of the counter, just staring at me. This wasn't his first rodeo with us, but tonight seemed a bit more uneasy than usual. He was easily taller than me, and his eyes were always bulged out, as though he were on something. He kept a hood over his head, so I never knew if he was bald or not. As other customers entered the Taco Bell, the creep would just stand there and let them butt ahead to order their meal. His unsettling gaze never broke, as he deeply stared into my soul. The awkward stare down then transitioned to an abrupt demand for free food. "Give me some free tacos! I'm a loyal customer, so I deserve free food!" "Dude, I can't give you free food just because you come in every night." "Give me tacos, now!" "Loyal customers buy things. You don't. You need to leave." Every night for the entire month of December, this creep came in at the exact same time and would beg every staff member for free tacos, sometimes for hours. He would stare me down, approach the counter, and demand free food, like we were in debt to him or something. It was fortunate that any time I told him to leave, he did. But when it was the end of my shift, I was always terrified to walk to my car. During close, I had the responsibility of escorting all customers while I shut off the lights and locked up the restaurant. For night shift employees, we were advised to park as far away from the building. That way we could avoid any potential creeps lurking the street. Each night I walked to my car, I had this eerie feeling of being watched. I would always tuck my keys in between my fingers and speed walk as fast as possible to my vehicle. The feelings of anxiety subsided when I got into my car and left the parking lot. When I got home, I would take a shower and fall asleep to friends. The combination of a nice hot shower and comedy calmed me down and allowed me to face the next night. But unfortunately, any self-care remedies wouldn't stop that same creep from showing up at the Taco Bell. The exact same thing happened again. The man would awkwardly stare me down and demand free food. "Give me some free food, goddammit!" "No! You're upsetting the other customers. Please leave." "I want free food." "I'm not giving you free food just because you walk in here. I don't even get free food." "Make me a taco now! Get the hell out of here or I'm calling the cops!" I pulled out my phone and he left. That whole night I had to deal with the anxiety of my shift ending and potentially encountering that guy again. I genuinely hated being the last one out every night and considered asking one of my coworkers to take the closing deed, but I didn't. I just mustered up any courage left in my manhood and decided to face the noise when the dreaded hour came where I would have to turn off the lights and lock up. Strangely enough, I didn't have the feeling of being watched. The night was quiet, but nothing foul lingered in the air. I kept my guard up until I got to my car and went home. I was called into work the next morning by the daytime manager. They didn't tell me what was going on until I arrived. I followed him into the office where he was reviewing security footage from the night before. He gestured for me to sit, and we reviewed the footage together. My eyes amplified in horror as I watched the very same creep that had been harassing me every night this month crawl through the drive-thru window. According to the time, this was after I threatened to call the cops. My stomach dropped as I realized he'd been hiding in the restaurant while I was closing the entire time. He could have done anything to me, and thank God he didn't. As the building was deserted, He proceeded to fire up the grills and cook himself an entire meal. He ate everything he cooked and then laid down on the floor, falling asleep. We fast-forwarded the footage about 5 hours when the man had awoken. Again, he snuck out the window, but didn't leave empty-handed. It was reported that he had stolen a tablet and laptop. I explained to the manager that this guy has been coming in every night this month to badger me about giving him free food, and how I refused every time. The drive-through window now has an automated lock on it to ensure this doesn't happen again. Despite the automated lock and the creep never showing his face again, I still felt uneasy every night. It's been a few months now and I still get quivers every time I lock up or hear someone enter the taco bar.